From the depth of the earth to the height of the spirit. Hello everyone, I'm Tree. I'm an artist and I created this channel to give back to the YouTube community from whom I've learned so much and to also promote my work as an artist. In this video I'm going to talk about 5 things I took from Jordan Peterson. I assume most of you have heard about him. If you haven't, I suggest you start here. I watched most of his university lectures and a lot of his debates. I also read 12 Rules for Life and his Maps of Meaning. Both very good books. I suggest you put them on your reading list. I really appreciate Peterson's open to experience. His stubborn way of pursuing truth no matter where it may lead him. I really like the way he can put things into perspective. He radiates passion, a passion for understanding the human life, the human mind, the kind of passion that can only be found within a tormented mind. I guess that's why me and so many others have this strong appeal towards him, we the tormented minds, looking to give meaning to our struggle and suffering. I know he's got a few things wrong. I can't really say what because I'm still trying to figure them out for myself. I don't yet have the answers. But I think he knows that too, that's why he's still looking. So, without any further ado, here are 5 things I took from Jordan Peterson. The first and most important one, stand up straight with your shoulders back. You have no idea how much this matters unless you've hunched and decided to not hunch anymore. I started hunching in my teenage years, up until my 20s. I basically hunched for about 12 years. This type of posture says to the world that you've given up, you are defeated. Although this has a huge impact on the way people perceive and interact with you, the biggest damage is done to your self-esteem. Because when you decide to hunch, you basically approach everything in your life from victim mode mentality. You're basically saying to yourself that you're weak, that you're hurt, that you can't face the world straight on. If you're hunching, be aware of your inner depression. A hunched back is an external sign of an inner turmoil. Be aware of your depression. Be aware of your sadness. Be kind to yourself. And take upon the exercise of watching your posture. It's easier to do when there's nothing on your mind, like when you're just standing in line, or you're sitting having a chat with friends, or you're doing the dishes, or washing your teeth. Just be aware of your shoulders, be aware of your posture and straighten your back. With enough practice, it will come natural. Do you know why skateboarding is the best sport? Because it trains you to keep your weight on your toes. Everything you do on a skate, you do it from your toes. I discovered this when I got a scooter to move around the city. Do the groceries, go to work, just go and skate for fun. I noticed that my shoes don't break in the heels anymore. They used to do that because I used to keep my weight on my heels. But now I don't, and I pay more attention when I walk as well. And I try to actually, I work to actually increase this even further. And it's such a huge difference. How do you walk? Do you keep your weight on your heels? Do you walk like that, with a heavy pace? Or do you keep your weight on your toes? Skipping. Barely touching the ground. When you walk on your toes, your pace is light. It's almost like skipping. It's like a game, like you're so light and reaching for the sky you could almost fly. When you walk on your heels, your pace is heavy. It's almost crawling. The way you hold yourself, the way you walk, it creates your whole attitude towards life. And you won't be able to enjoy life within an attitude of defeat and heaviness. To be able to enjoy life, you need an attitude of lightness, of skipping, of confidence, no matter how tough the times. This is what you appreciate in others you look up to. You appreciate their ability to reach for the sky, to walk with grace, even in the toughest situations. If you want to learn more about how your body posture influences your state of mind, I suggest you watch this video. It's a really good video on different scientific studies that have been done on this subject. The second thing I took from Jordan Peterson was the importance of psychology. We all like to think that we're unique and special and that rules don't apply to us. I'm here to tell you that's a lie. We all have unique experiences, but we all have a human mind, and all human mind works the same. By studying a bit about psychology and different patterns of the mind and the different way it works, how it creates perceptions and meanings around perceptions, I came to understand better my own mind and how it works. I came to see its shortcomings. I came to see its dysfunctions. I discovered I'm mildly bipolar and with borderline personality traits. Both challenges, but it made me better understand my past. It helped me better understand my past experiences. It helped me make sense of my unhealthy attachments and behaviors that got me in trouble. And it helps me be aware of when I might slide back into those types of behaviors. It helps me follow through with my plans in spite of challenges. It makes me aware of my triggers early on, so I don't spiral into an episode of despair or engagement in self-destructive activities. Learning more about psychology and the human mind helped me understand my family dynamics. It also helps me better understand people, the reasons they do what they do, the place they're coming from. It helps me approach them with more compassion and a better understanding. The third thing I took from Jordan Peterson was the importance of responsibility. I used to complain a lot. I used to think I was a good person doing the right thing and saw fault within everybody else for my suffering. Within the world, within the government, within people around me. Peterson paints a really strong picture in his book about the importance of owning to your own suffering, to looking for your own faults before you criticize the world. And it really made me think. It really made me look at my own shortcomings, and he helped me understand that, yes, I have a lot of work to do. There's no time for me to look at the work other people have to do. He helped me set aside my resentment and grow into a happier human being. Like the hunching posture. When you complain about the world, you make yourself a victim. You're basically saying that you're powerless and that there's nothing you can do because the world is out to get you, and it makes you small. It makes you weak. And it creates unnecessary suffering. We all have the tiny voice that tells us the right thing to do. We just choose to not listen to it sometimes. My advice is to listen to it more often, because that's how you gain strength. That's how you gain peace of mind. That's how you gain more happiness and less resentment. When you will do the right thing 80% of the time, then you can go about and criticize the world. I'm gonna read to you a quote from Peterson's book. The ancient Jews always blamed themselves when things fell apart. They acted as if God's goodness, the goodness of reality, was axiomatic, and took responsibility for their own failure. That's insanely responsible, but the alternative is to judge reality as insufficient, to criticize being itself, and to sink into resentment and the desire for revenge. I think that's what Peterson's missing. He emphasizes a lot the suffering part of the world, but he forgets that God's goodness is axiomatic. He forgets that the whole world is not for our suffering, but for our benefit. I only got glimpses of that. Still looking for a full-blown discovery. The fourth thing I took from Jordan Peterson was tell the truth, or at least don't lie. Most people lie every day. Most sleep white little lies meant to keep the ugly truth out. I used to lie a lot. I decided to stop lying 10 years ago. I faced my failures, I faced my deceit, and gathered the courage to drop out of university and follow my real dreams. It was a really tough decision, but a highly rewarding one. Since then, I started to find my happiness. Anybody who knew me before then can tell you that I was a really unhappy person. And if they didn't see me as unhappy, then they didn't know me at all. When we lie, we put an extra veil of deceit between us and reality. Our minds are built to be deceitful. They don't need any extra help from us. In fact, our goal should be uncovering those layers to get the full picture. How can you truly enjoy life if you can't see it for what it is? How can you navigate through it if you can't see it for what it really is? A lie never helps, no matter how small, no matter how ugly the truth. I learned that the hard way. I suggest to develop a habit of watching your thoughts, your words, your actions, and the contradiction between them. Don't take your beliefs for granted, nor your motives. Make it your goal to pursue the truth no matter what. And I promise you it's going to be more satisfying and more empowering than anything else you can do. The fifth, and perhaps not the last thing I took from Jordan Peterson, is the reality of hierarchy. I was quite an anarchist in my teenage years. I enjoyed being a rebel, partly because of bad leadership within my own life. But Peterson made me understand that hierarchy is natural. You've got people on a wide scale of strength, and it is the responsibility of the strong to walk in front, to lead the way, because they have the capacity to face dangers that lie in the unknown. I learned what good leadership really is, and I'm looking for role models in my own life to guide me. To guide me towards real values. The values of courage, of honor, of truth, kindness and grace and wisdom. All values of a true leader. Values I'm looking to embody myself so I can take on the role of the leader when time comes. I do not wish to be a poor leader. I wish to lead people into abundance and not destruction. These 5 things I talk about all tie in together. Not following through with your ideas makes you depressed. Not listening to that inner voice that tells you about the right thing to do makes you depressed. To listen to that, you need to assume responsibility. You need to assume responsibility for your role of a leader. You are a leader to someone in your life. Be it your children, be it your girlfriend, be it even your dog. There's always someone around you who needs a role model, who needs a good example. When you assume that responsibility, you acknowledge the role of good leadership, and that comes with embracing truth. It can all begin with a simple thing as stand up straight with your shoulders back. And keep in mind that the burdens on your shoulders are of your own creation. Assume the responsibility of leadership in your life. Be strong, pursue your truth. Cultivate real values. Please like if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to support. If you wish to Patreon an artist, you can find me on Patreon and you can support me for as little as €2 a month. I'll see you in 2 weeks with a video on Gabor Mate and what I learned from him.